Should I just sit through the ad break? No, I'll get started, I guess. Yeah. Okay, clean the lanterns first. We're going to get this achievement. Middle deck on a tree. Where? Which tree? Okay, spiral staircase. Middle deck on a tree. There's the last lantern. Hanging up on a tree as you go up some stairs. That's the other description. No. Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. We got the achievement. Okay. Now it's time. Hello! Please hang around. Following is free. It gets you a free Ossington emote. We are going to clean this massive treehouse today. Now that we got the achievement, we can start in earnest. Stay out. Clean these tires. Yes, we got a few people here. That's great. Welcome. If you follow, you get a free Ossington emote, so please consider following. We are going to clean this entire giant treehouse today. The bear is quiet, kind of sleepy. He's kind of like sipping on a Mountain Dew right now. We're going to... This is one of my favorite levels in PowerWash Simulator. I already got the cleaning all the lanterns before everything else achievement. So now we can just clean everything else, and we've only got 1% done, so you're right here at the beginning. People tell me it's a really relaxing game to watch, so come have a chill time. Oh, we've got this edging here too. We've got that, we've got the edging. We'll do the edging here. Oh, we've got soccer ball. And yes, when PowerWash Simulator 2 comes out soon, I will definitely be buying it, and I will definitely be playing it. And streaming it. I wonder, if I buy it and I start streaming PowerWash Simulator 2 right when it comes out, whether that will be really good for my views. I only need 2 more followers to reach my 70 follower goal there. I got 68 now. Sometimes the teddy bear talks. I can't force him to talk on command though. Gotta let him be natural and do his thing. Oh, that's great! Yeah, the skate park is a lot of fun, eh? That's one of my favorite levels. Katie? Getting a stronger power washer is good. And you know what? I just acquired Crime Scene Cleaner, so I think I'm going to be streaming that one next week. Alongside, so that's kind of like PowerWash Simulator, but more complicated, I guess. And you're cleaning crime scenes specifically. So that should be fun. And I was talking, I don't know if you were here for it, you probably were. I was talking about how when PowerWash Simulator 2 comes out, and we don't know when that's coming out yet, but definitely 2025 according to Steam, I will buy that right away as soon as it's out and start streaming it. I can't believe how obsessed I've become with power washing things, and I got you into power washing things as well. We're starting a power washing revolution. And they're definitely one of the levels that I have in the SpongeBob SquarePants DLC, Katie. I finished the SpongeBob SquarePants DLC on my own, but I will also repeat some levels and stream them. I bought all the DLC at this point, by the way. There is a level in the SpongeBob SquarePants DLC where there's an invisible vehicle, like an invisible boat, I believe. And so you're cleaning, you can see the thing when you start because it's covered in dirt, but when you remove dirt from it, you don't see anything underneath. It's really challenging. I think maybe the next time I stream PowerWash Simulator after this, I'll do that level specifically, because it's like you're cleaning an invisible boat. Yeah. How are you, Katie? Yeah, you keep showing me like where you are in northern Sweden has a lot of damage from floods. A lot of flood damage. I hope your house is fine. This is the second time I'm ever doing this particular environment, and since I initially started playing, I've gotten a lot better at this now, a lot more efficient at making sure I don't have too many missed areas at the end, because what I really enjoy, what's really relaxing for me, is cleaning the big, large surfaces, right? What's the part of the game that gets kind of frustrating and less fun is when you gotta clean the little bits off of the list that you didn't get to. So now I try to clean. Oh, okay, that's good. You didn't get a downpour. That's good. So now I clean in such a way that hopefully there are fewer small bits that I've missed. Because that's part of the game that's less fun, is getting all the small bits afterward. So the fewer small bits that haven't been washed that I leave behind, the better. Oh, that's good. So your roads are getting repaired. That's good to know. I tried a demo of Deconstruction Simulator, I think it's called, Deconstruction Simulator. And the demo did not convince me to buy the game. The controls were so incredibly frustrating. And yes, I know you can go into settings and tweak the controls, but even that didn't fix anything. It was just, I don't recommend I really wanted to. I was hoping that I would get to, smash buildings with a sledgehammer or a bulldozer, but no, it's very tedious, kind of like undoing IKEA furniture and stuff like that. And the controls are just horrible. Like you try to go out to a bookshelf and deconstruct it, and you don't even know what you're doing with the controls half the time. It's very tedious. Yeah, the best way I can put it is the controls in Deconstruction Simulator are terrible. I do have Incombini, that's another kind of simulator game like that, but you're not like deconstructing or cleaning anything. It's more you're running a convenience store in Japan, a combini. I might start streaming that soon as well. Crime scene investigator. Crime scene cleaner. I'll probably start streaming soon as well. Lawnmower Sin, yes, that idea, and that's a brilliant idea, Katie, has been thought of already. If you are on Xbox, so you don't really, but you can still look at what Steam games there are on the web if you don't do PC gaming. And you will see, at least on the PC platform, there is a lawnmower simulator. And I would happily start playing it. It sounds really relaxing, but the reviews say that the game is very buggy. Maybe I will give it a try at some point, though. That's a great minds think alike, right? That sounds like a really relaxing concept for a game like this. 5 viewers, hey! Just reminding you that I only need 2 more followers to hit my 70 follower goal. And all followers get a free Ossington the Teddy Bear emote. That's right, Ossington. I am just exploiting your cuteness to give my channel a fun gimmick, because answering enterprise cybersecurity questions isn't everyone's cup of tea. So yeah, we're going to clean this whole thing during this session, and yeah, please consider following. I would really appreciate it. So we are, yeah, so on this channel I like playing relaxing sim games like this. I'm going to get back into playing JRPGs and stream them here. I went through a period of several years where I would say 75% of the time I was playing JRPGs. Now I'm still a massive JRPG fan. If you were to see my apartment, it's filled with like Persona posters and Final Fantasy merch and Trails stuff, as in like Kaseki Trails, as in like Trails of Cold Steel, Trails to Azure, Trails to Zero, that series. Trails in the Sky, do that as well. And I might start getting into playing Dwarf Fortress on here. I was going to start playing RimWorld on here earlier, but one of my regular viewers is like, I don't want to watch RimWorld. There's like slavery simulations and gruesome stuff. So it's like, okay. I might play RimWorld later, especially if my fan who doesn't like that game isn't watching. Maybe I'll pop in some RimWorld. And this afternoon, this afternoon Eastern time, I'm going to stream another game. I'm going to stream Wago Tabi, which is a Japanese language learning game. And it's rewarding to watch if you are starting to learn Japanese. And I find it fun. It's kind of like an old school RPG, I guess. One of the better Japanese language learning games out there for English speakers, Wago Tabi. And if that's popular, I might start streaming some more Japanese language learning games as well, because I've played a lot of those too, because I've been learning Japanese for the past couple of years. And my Japanese has gradually been getting better. I've learned a ton of kanji. I thought learning kanji would be so hard, and there are challenges in learning kanji when you don't grow up with it, like if you're not Japanese. But thirsty. But learning kanji has been easier for me than I thought it would be. Yeah, that is, isn't it? So yeah, I don't expect Katie to log on to my second stream today, because it's going to be later for her because she's in Europe, but anyone who wants to tune in, I'll be playing Japanese language learning game and see how that goes. I've got more Japanese language learning games too. I have Sashingo, which is a game where you take your camera into a small Japanese city block and you take photos and you identify the Japanese words for things in your environment. And then I finished it a while back, but this will be my first time streaming it. There's So to Speak, where again you label things in your environment in Japanese. And then there's I've got a couple of like old school RPGs that are Japanese language learning games too. So that should be. I'll probably end up streaming all of these Japanese language learning games. So yeah, if you're new, following is free. And you get the Ossington emotes. You can get like a teddy bear face. Yeah, let's say hi to Katie. Well, let's say hi to Katie then. Okay. That's my bear. He needs more caffeine. Feel free to drink from the Mountain Dew there. My bear has spent a lot of time watching me play this game. If he was a house cat, he'd be like climbing all over the keyboard and stuff, but a teddy bear will usually be chill and just like sit and watch. Although his wife, Amelia, she likes playing Fight Slims. Katie. Why do you run up to the camera like that, Oz? Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Katie. Okay, you're covering up my screen, Oz. I can't see. Katie. Okay. Okay. When you run up to the camera like that, because it's mounted to the top of my monitor, I can't see the game or what I'm doing. ham. My teddy bear is a ham. Yeah. I gotta take a break from playing this when he does that. He covers up my whole screen when he does that. There we go, we got the picnic table clean. Jenny Castro should be back in another week or so to be my mod and help me out a bit. And then if you look at my About page, which I recently updated, my About panel, I mean, whatever it's called, I am planning an event called Stop Gen AI Twitch Fest 1, and that will take place in November, between November 9th and November 23rd. And we've already got a couple of other Twitch streamers who are happy to participate, so we will get more details about that soon. But if you want to learn about the event, if you're a Twitch streamer and you're curious about what participation entails, or you're someone who just watches Twitch streams and you want to know what's going on, go do stopgenai.com/Twitch, or visit the link that is in my profile on my About section, and you can find out more about the event that's coming up. But the gist of it is we're going to get as many streamers participating as we can, and they're allowed to do their usual streaming and stream whatever they want, as long as it's allowable by Twitch policy, obviously, and doesn't contain any Gen AI content, at least to the best of their knowledge. And then all they got to do is just do their normal streaming. Don't have to stream anything special, just do this kind of streaming that they usually do. But add a widget for Ko-Fi for donations for Stop Gen AI, and to mention the widget in the fundraiser about once an hour. And that's all it is. And so the money that is raised will go to Stop Gen AI, and what we do with the money is we mainly use it for our mutual aid, which is to help people who are struggling financially because of Gen AI. Because even though Gen AI absolutely cannot replace any of us competently or at all, our evil capitalist overlords are still using it as an excuse to fire people or to give them less paid work. So our mutual aid tries to help people financially survive that sort of thing. And so that's what the fundraiser is for. And then the other thing that Stop Gen AI does is we educate the general public on how Gen AI can be avoided, and it actually can be avoided, and why they would want to do that. So, because I think your average person thinks that Gen AI is, your average person at this point in 2025 probably hates Gen AI, or at least is annoyed by it, but thinks that they can't possibly avoid it because, like, Microsoft or Google or Apple is doing things to their everyday computing lives that they can't control. But our site will give you up-to-date information on how, as long as you own your phone, as long as you own your PC, you can configure it in such a way that you never get any Gen AI in anything. And that's really good on multiple levels. One, you're not contributing to the massive environmental destruction associated with Gen AI, because there is no, we are now deep into climate disaster and it's getting worse, and all the data centers and power generation for that they want, that Sam Altman wants, that Elon Musk wants, is absolutely horrible for the environment. For example, there's one Gen AI data center for Elon Musk's Gen AI that's in rural Tennessee, rural Tennessee. And there are a lot of poor people who live in the neighborhood near the data center, and the pollution is so bad that they're getting cancer. It's impacting their everyday lives constantly to be living in an area with so much pollution. And then there's other things like the power grid. So the power grid cannot handle all the Gen AI that these assholes want, and a lot of us all over the world are starting to find that our electricity bills are going up to the extent that a lot of people, especially if they're poor and struggling, cannot afford to pay their electricity bills. Imagine your electricity bill going from like $100 in a month to like $600 in a month, $1,000 in a month. That's what a lot of people are facing right now. Like, aren't you outraged that, Elon Musk and his peers are pushing this bullshit, and it's us, like the poor, struggling, regular folks who have to foot the bill for the electricity? Like, no, it's horrible. Secondly, it steals. I'm less concerned about distributing media and writing without authorization. I'm more concerned about them trying to replace the labor of artists and writers. And Gen AI actually does not substitute artists and writers and computer programmers very well, but they'd like you to believe that it does, and So they're trying to make us all deeply poor, and then Frank Engels, who worked extensively with Karl Marx back in the day, wrote about a concept called social murder, which means if you deprive someone of their material necessities, of food, of shelter, healthcare, that sort of thing, and they die earlier than they would have otherwise, that is called a social murder. So by pushing Gen AI, and their main reason to push Gen AI is so they don't have to pay for human labor anymore for anything. So that's social murder. They're killing us on a massive scale. So there's that. It's also an instrument for fascism. There are all kinds of academic links to substantiate all the stuff that I've been saying. If you go to stopgenai.com, you can find a lot of this, links to a lot of this research. So that's what my org is all about. And so the funds that we're going to be raising from our Stop Gen AI Twitch Fest 1 in November will be going to support those of us who have been struggling financially. I can't give you a tax credit for it because we're not really a registered charity yet, but we would really appreciate your support. Because society is crumbling right now. Society is crumbling. Society is collapsing. We're all struggling to survive. This is societal collapse. And societal collapse, I've been hearing a lot of people who are learned about these matters talk about it lately. Societal collapse isn't like one big event and then you got an apocalypse. Societal collapse is slow and painful and bizarre, and it's a lot of different things, and societies can collapse like this over the course of like 30 years. Our society, our Western capitalist society has been collapsing for quite some time now, and we're suffering for it. Capitalism was never a good idea. We are in what later Marxist scholars would call late-stage capitalism now. Exactly, Katie. So that is why, for instance, these billionaire oligarchs are pouring literal trillions of dollars. To put trillions of dollars into perspective, the US GDP in a typical year is like something like 3 or 4 trillion. So they've dumped trillions of dollars into this Gen AI bullshit. Gotta take care of that. Sorry, just a second. I'll get this fixed properly eventually. There we go. Okay. So they're pouring trillions of dollars to it. It's not making them anywhere close to that amount of money. They don't even see like a 1% return on any of this crap. They're just burning through massive amounts of money with very little return. If you go to our website and you follow the podcast that Raised Hunter makes for us, the Skeptic's Bible, he talks all about the financial bizarreness of Gen AI, like how it's not financially viable. Another good source for how Gen AI is not financially viable. Like these oligarchs are just like literally throwing trillions of dollars into the garbage and saying on fire, basically. So that's late stage capitalism. When our oligarchs don't even do evil things that are profitable for them anymore. They do evil things that are not profitable because they want to control society, and it's a class war, and they want to replace all like human labor and all that shit. So yeah, another good source for a lot of this information is Ed Zitron's Better Offline podcast. Goes into the completely bizarre finances behind Gen AI. Yeah, thank you, Katie. The smoke detector peep is my unique feature. We gotta get that fixed soon, though. So yeah, they're just like, but my smoke detector will not go off for all the trillions of dollars that Sam Altman and Elon Musk are basically setting on fire. Our power grid can't support it. Our planet can't support it. It's for nothing. Gen AI is not smart. It just repeats bullshit that sounds like words without knowing the meanings of words. Produces the most horrible substitute for art. There is no good to come for this. The big push for these oligarchs is just so they don't pay any of us for anything. So we have no money, and then if we have no money, we can't buy the things that we need to survive, and then we all die of what Engels would call social murder deaths. So this is I know, dark shit to talk about on a Twitch stream like this, but that's why we're having that event. It's going to be a big fundraiser. We have at least 3 Twitch streamers are going to be participating in the Stop Gen AI Twitch Fest 1 event in November. So it's going to be me and two others who I will announce soon. We want to have a lot more people streaming in the event. One upside for streamers who participate, aside from the warm fuzzy feeling you get knowing that you're raising money to help your fellow working class comrades survive Gen AI, is we will be promoting the hell out of everyone's streams before and during the event. So it could lead to more viewership for people's streams if they participate. There's not going to be much of a benefit to a big streamer, but to someone who is trying to build their audience, it could be, the advertising that we could give them could be really beneficial. So I just started Twitch streaming like 3 weeks ago, and I already regularly get more viewers per stream than most people would a few weeks into their Twitch streaming career. So I got an instinct for self-promotion, and I will be very happy to promote all of the Twitch streamers participating in the Stop Gen AI Twitch Fest 1 event in November. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a panel that has the schedules of all the participating Twitch streamers. We're going to have a big feature on our website, stopgenai.com, with all the Twitch streaming schedules for the festival participants. And we'll also do a lot of social media promotion as well. It should be a lot of fun. And you just like stream whatever you want. And if you monetize your Twitch channel, you can go ahead and continue all the usual ways that you monetize. And just add the Ko-Fi widget for people to choose to donate to our charity, our mutual aid, if they choose to do so. That's all. Yeah. So as I said, what do they say? Give her monies. No. Following is free, right? Following is free, and you get a free Ossington emote. If you think you need more caffeine, I think feel free to drink more of that Mountain Dew, Oz, if you want. Okay, I think we've cleaned everything on this level. I think so. Yeah, we'll go up here. That's one of the nice things about this game, is you can kind of absent-mindedly clean stuff. Very relaxing. Yeah, I became a Twitch affiliate second week of this channel's existence. So, Katie was a big help, by the way. I do gotta give her kudos for that. Katie helped me immensely with that. But if you're not any sort of celebrity before you start on Twitch, to become an affiliate in 2 weeks is faster than normal. So I think I'm gonna be doing okay. But I need more followers, folks. Need more followers. This is fun. Look at that. Look at that moss. So if you missed me talking about it earlier, I recently got Crime Scene Cleaner, which is a newer game, which is like this kind of, but you're cleaning crime scenes. I will start streaming that probably next week. Yeah. And then later today, I'm going to be streaming Wagotabi, which is a Japanese language learning game. Then I might switch back to Fields of Mystery after that. And then Sunday we are going to be playing Fields of Mystery at heart. Just completely focused on Fields of Mystery. And if you watch my Fields of Mystery streams and the videos I have for them, you'll notice that several times while I'm playing, I refer to Fields of Mystery as Stardew Valley, which, obviously, Fields of Mystery is very similar to Stardew Valley, but it was just kind of amusing. I'm sure the devs of Fields of Mystery won't be too insulted by that. But 23% now. If you're curious about what I do outside of Twitch, I have started to host a show on LinkedIn called Criticality, which is about enterprise cybersecurity. It's not going to be interesting to people who aren't like in the cybersecurity industry, I don't think, but I'm actually being paid to do that, to host that show. And so we broadcast our first episode of that on Wednesday. And I have to put up with a co-host and with producers who love Gen AI. And that really, I'm only doing it for the paycheck. And so that really kind of stressed me out. But it was less stressful because I learned that I could say that Gen AI is bullshit and keep my job. So that'll make it a little easier, that I don't have to lie about how much I hate, well, I gotta be really careful. My boss, that company, is what we would call a clanker, which is our derogatory term for someone who is a part of the Gen AI loving cult. And so I still have to be kind of careful, but if you were to listen to that stream, you'd find out that I did not like those guys praising Gen AI, and I didn't bite my tongue about it. I mentioned why Gen AI is bad in some ways, but in a professional way. If I wasn't getting paid for it, I would have, my demeanor would have been much less professional. So I got that. I have no idea. I'm going to be doing some enterprise cybersecurity consulting for Iron Defense again at some point, but I have no idea when that's going to start. And hopefully the old guy at that governance risk and compliance vendor will agree to the contract I sent him to write white papers, so I'm hoping that works out. And my partner of my romantic partner of 7 years, Jason, he's on Twitch as Jay Schizoid. We broke up in, I would say, late June, early July. It's a 7-year relationship. I was really heartbroken about that. But my heart is starting to heal because I met a cute guy a week ago, but the thing is, like, this thing with this guy is so I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything, but there is hope for me on the horizon, hopefully. We'll see. This is a real turning point in my life now. I am 41 years old, talking teddy bear, and I'm 41 years old. So, if you're into astrology, I will be going through my Uranus opposition soon. So that's transiting Uranus opposite my natal Uranus. And right now, Uranus has been squaring my ascendant for some time, which has made me have a much more rebellious, maybe confrontational relationship with the world. If you're into Western tropical astrology, what I'm saying will make a lot more sense to you. I do astrology readings on Wednesdays if you want to join in for that. But yeah, so this has been a really rough, kind of scary transitional period of my life where I'm trying to rebuild my career. I just recently kind of quit my cybersecurity professor job through ghosting because they were treating me so poorly. And lost my partner. He's not dead, he's very much alive. He streams on Twitch under Jay Schizoid. Say hi to him. We're still trying to stay friends and all that. But yeah, Jay and I are still trying to stay friends. I think we still love each other very much, but his recklessness toward COVID and my actually trying to avoid the plague like the plague has been causing friction in our relationship for the past few years, and that friction blew up, basically. So that's really the reason why we broke up. COVID broke us up. But him not taking COVID seriously, I was putting up with it for 3 years. He never lived with me, so it was very easy for me to protect myself from him when he was infected. And he's still infected now on what is probably his 4th infection, I think. He wouldn't know about these infections if I didn't give him the tests and the testing equipment. So, and I have not been ever infected by COVID ever once. I have acquired a lot of probably PTSD from what I've had to do to avoid COVID infection and what I've had to sacrifice. And really, if our society wasn't deeply evil, there wouldn't be sacrifices, personal sacrifices involved in avoiding the plague. Like, come on now. But it's in capitalism's best interest to lie about COVID being no big deal and you don't have to wear any of your masks and all that stuff. So I know Katie and I, we're both very COVID safe because we belong to the same COVID safe groups and I know her very well. Anyone else listening, I want to remind you to please, please, please wear a proper respirator when you're in public. Feel free to get vaxxed if the vaccine is available to you, but keep in mind that the vaccine does not prevent infection or transmission at all. So you were lied to when you were told that getting the vaccine means you can take your mask off. So please, please, please realize that wearing a respirator is by far your first line of defense. I have avoided infection completely by making sure I never inhale. Respirators rock, exactly. If you cannot afford a respirator, or if you don't know how to get one, then you can go to maskblock.org, and chances are your local area has a mask block that can give you respirators for free. So it's mask, M-A-S-K, hyphen block, BLOC.org, and wherever in the world you are, you should be able to find your local mask block. And if you can afford to buy your own, they'll help you with that. And if you can't afford to buy respirators, they will give you some for free. These are all things that government should be doing, by the way. But do not expect governments or anyone in power in any way to protect you from anything. Our evil overlords would be happy with us all dying horribly. And Katie has not been infected either, because she also wears respirators and is very careful about who she shares breathing air with. There's so much stuff that people don't understand. Even people who think they're COVID safe don't understand really well. Like, for instance, I've heard plenty of people who identify as being COVID aware or COVID cautious or COVID safe, but they say stuff like, I wear my mask in crowded spaces, and implying that you should only wear a mask when the space that you're in is crowded is absolutely, yeah, we're both novids. Katie and I are both novids. High five, we're like less than 1% of the population. So, and think of all the sacrifices we've made to be novids like that. So, the thing is, I know Katie knows this, but anyone else listening, you can get COVID in an empty room because COVID stays in the air for a long time after people leave. It's like, if you remember what cigarette smoke is like, or if you've been around marijuana smoke or anything like that, it stays in the air for hours. If you get like HEPA filters or Sierra boxes, ventilation, you can remove COVID from the air of the room a lot faster than if you don't have good ventilation and air filtering, but it does not remove COVID from the air instantly. So if I was in an indoor space, even if they had good ventilation and they had air filters, I would still keep my respirator on. Which, we say things like this, and then people like to do the waffles, pancakes error thing, where they're like, oh, so Kim, you're saying that the COVID vaccine doesn't stop infection, so you're an anti-vaxxer, and you're saying that having good ventilation and air filters in an indoor space doesn't mean that it's safe to take your mask off if there are other people there. You must hate air cleaning then, Kim. Like, no. Every indoor space should improve its ventilation and have good air filtering. But when people are around, you can still get close range transmission from that. And improving ventilation in indoor spaces is very important, but the space with the absolute best ventilation ever is outdoors. And people have gotten infected with COVID outdoors. You can get COVID outdoors if an infectious person walks past you. That's what we call close range transmission. So Katie and I, if we know that other people are going to be there, we wear our respirators outdoors as well. Only reason why I'm not wearing my respirator right now is because I'm inside my home, and I know there's no COVID in the air inside my home. It's one human household here, and Ossington has not been bringing COVID into this space. He doesn't leave very often. When he does leave, he wears a mask. Yeah, needed a bear. Yes, he has his own little COVID mask that he wears when the odd time that he does leave here. So my teddy bear can wear a respirator in public. Humans have no excuse. We got 4 viewers, woohoo! So please, anyone who isn't following us already, please, 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 I beg of you, please follow us. Thank you. Trying to reach follower goal. Plus, you'll love having the Ossington emote if you like cute teddy bears. Yeah, we're making good progress here. 32%. We should in a couple of weeks be getting that PS5 that Jenny Castro is sending me. And that will be really cool because the one game that I will not be able to play right away when it comes out without having a PS5 that I really want to play on stream is Ghost of Yotei. If Ghost of Yotei ends up like Ghost of Tsushima, it will inevitably come out for PC, but there's still a deal with Sony where they release it for PS5 first, and then maybe a year or two later it comes out for PC. So now I'll be able to stream Ghost of Yotei as soon as it comes out. So I think Ghost of Yotei comes out. When does Ghost of Yotei come out? I will look it up. But I really enjoyed Ghost of Tsushima, so hopefully Ghost of Yotei will be just as good. I love Japan and Japanese culture and all that stuff. And Ghost of Tsushima is definitely a better Assassin's Creed game than Assassin's Creed games are. That's what nudged Ubisoft to greenlight Assassin's Creed Shadows. So, stream Ghost of Yotei. I think Ghost of Tsushima does a better job of being authentic to historical Japan than Assassin's Creed Shadows does, but we'll see. Another game I might stream on here is Yosuke Simulator. It's a game on Steam where you're in a Japanese setting, but you basically just cause chaos in a modern Japanese setting. So I think you pretend to be a samurai or something. So not realistic per se, because there have been no real samurai for many years now, but it should be a lot of fun. So yeah, let me know if Yasuke Simulator, I think it's Yasuke Simulator, if you'd like me to stream that. I have it in my Steam library. Let's get underneath there. 35% done now. got all these railing parts cleaned properly. Look at those trees. Yeah, let's get that railing. Got some spots missing here. I see a lot of VTubers on Twitch. I'm not gonna become a VTuber. But VTubers are welcome to participate in Stop Gen AI Twitch Fest 1. Okay, we gotta get those parts there. There we go. I want to get all these little parts that could be avoided. Make sure we don't miss them. Ah, yeah, we fell. Please follow me if you haven't already. Get that over there. Make sure all this exterior stuff is cleaned fairly well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to PowerWash Simulator 2 coming out 2025, but no indication of when in 2025. And it's September now, so it's got to be the next 3 months if they're true to that date. You don't want to release at the same time as Hollow Knight Silksong. But I wanted to give the Hollow Knight series a try, but then I read how the bosses in Hollow Knight, like the first game, were really, really hard, and I'm like, no, I don't want to play a game with really, really hard boss fights. That's why you'll never see me play a Souls-like game, for instance. Because that's just not my jive. Really, really hard boss fights is not my jive. This is the most frustrating part of this level, are these areas up here. Ding. Ding. Good, we're making some progress there. More of an extension. There we go. Ding, ding. That's satisfying. Ding, ding. That part of the stairs clean too. Ding. Yeah, we will go down here. Yeah. Clean all around here. Ding. There we go. Ding. Ding. I see. I see. Can I have some of the Mountain Dew, Oz? Okay, thank you. Ding. Ding. There we go. That's very satisfying to clean these parts here. There we go. Get this whole area here clean. Very satisfying. There we go. So I don't need an extension. Not so much. There we go. Ding, ding, ding. Ding. Oh, look at Ossington. He's like staring intently at the ceiling. Well, not the ceiling here, the ceiling that I'm cleaning inside the game. Teddy bear is fascinated. Yeah, very satisfying. "47%. We're making great progress now. We hear the birds. Ding. Some turkey jerky motion there. Ding. 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 Yeah, make sure that all that residue left on the side, we remove that. Ding. Ding. Put a little bit of extension on there. Oh, we missed this whole area here. Maybe we'll start using the scaffolding. Nice. Ding. 48% now. Ding. Hear the birds. Following is free and it gets you a free Ossington emote. So please follow. Get this area up here. Look at all that yucky moss all over the place. Getting rid of that. Make sure we clean everything that we can reach over here. Yeah. That part of the railing too. Whoa, we're a daredevil today. There's no fall damage in this game though. Oh, wow, we've got lots of scaffolding. Okay. Ooh, yeah, we could clean this whole area here. 50%, folks. Go. There we go. Got that whole ceiling. Ceiling is the toughest part, this whole level, I think. There's this shorter scaffolding here that could be helpful as well. Got Runaway by Janet Jackson stuck in my head right now. Gotta be careful about my humming. I'm not registered as a DJ, so I don't want to risk any copyright stuff, so I'll keep that music in my head. But if I sound like I'm humming a little bit, that's what I'm trying to hum, hopefully not recognizably though. Yeah, so apparently Gen Z, or Gen Z, was surprised that Janet Jackson was such a massive pop star in the 80s and 90s and even the early 2000s because a lot of her legacy has been buried by Les Moonves at CBS because of his unfair, horrible grudge against her because of Nipplegate, which was absolutely not her fault, by the way. So I've watched... Oh, look, someone to block. Yes, we will ban this. There we go. When a Jenny joins our streams again, he can block those spammers for me. Ban them. I wonder, do any Twitch streamers actually fall for the bots who spam stuff? Like, is there any monetization for those scammers whatsoever? That's what I want to know. But yeah, Janet Jackson was an absolutely massive pop star in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s up until 2004 in the Super Bowl. So if you are younger than, let's say, 35, do know that Janet Jackson was once one of the biggest pop stars in the world. Yeah, that surprises a lot of the younger generations, that's for sure. And I think if you're, I hate how people do comparisons like this, but if I had to choose between Janet Jackson or Madonna, I would definitely choose Janet. Because, I mean, aside from having a better repertoire and catalog than Madonna, and better videos, in my opinion, that's a very subjective thing, to the best of my knowledge, Madonna is an absolutely horrible person, whereas like Janet Jackson seems like an okay person by rich and famous person standards. Because I think being rich and famous does make you an asshole, right? So all that stuff goes to your head and whatnot. But I think, all things being relative, Janet is much less of an asshole than Madonna is. Plus, imagine what she went through with being the sister of a man who very much, for much of his life, the most arguably the most famous person on earth, Michael Jackson. So it's amazing how she became, obviously she benefited from some nepotism, but you make the nepotism argument, it didn't benefit LaToya's solo career at all, or Rebe, and by the late 70s, early 80s, the Jackson family really thought that Jermaine would be the second most commercially successful solo Jackson. So for many, many years, Jermaine Jackson was very resentful toward Michael. One thing a lot of people don't know about me, I don't really self-identify as a Michael Jackson fan or Janet Jackson fan per se, but I do identify as someone who considers being a Jackson family historian to be one of my main hobbies. I know that's really, really weird. Like, for instance, you'll meet all kinds of Swifties, and I don't like Swifties, by the way. But you'll meet all kinds of people who say they're Swifties these days, but you won't meet someone who says, I'm not really a Taylor Swift fan, but I am a Taylor Swift historian as a hobby. But that's kind of like what I say about the Jacksons. I think Michael Jackson had tons of psychological problems. Being that extremely famous is not healthy or natural for anyone. I think it really messed him up. But I don't believe in the PDF file allegations that he had to deal with much of his life. So that's not my reason for not saying, I'm not a Michael Jackson fan. It's just, I think why I say I'm a Jackson family historian, well, as a hobby, not professionally, I'm a Jackson family historian, but I'm not a Michael or Janet or Jackson's or Jackson 5 or LaToya or Jermaine whatnot fan, is because all the crises that we've gone through in the world with society collapsing, and they're all related to society collapsing and COVID and capitalism, late stage capitalism and all that. But yeah, I mean, COVID has revealed a lot also, and the fall of capitalism and all that kind of stuff, that looking up to celebrities and identifying personally, making a celebrity part of your own identity is really messed up. So when someone, for instance, identifies as a Michael Jackson fan, or they say that I'm a Swiftie, or I'm a member of Beyonce's Beehive, or anything like that, they are taking that famous person's identity and they're making it a part of their own, right? Whereas if you just say, I like their music, or I like learning about that person, but you don't call yourself their fan, that's a little healthier, because we're starting to realize how messed up celebrities are. You don't really want to make your fandom of a celebrity to be a part of your identity. Like, my favorite recording artist ever is Jamiroquai, by far. And I was about to say I'm a Jamiroquai fan, and then I stopped myself, because there are, I think Jamiroquai makes like the best music ever. I think I have never been anything but eargasmically delighted by new Jamiroquai music. There has not been a single bad or even mid Jamiroquai album. They've all been really awesome. And maybe the long-awaited new Jamiroquai album will come out this year. We'll see. The follow-up to, but the follow-up to Automaton. But I used to call myself a Jamiroquai fan, and now I've come to the conclusion that making your fandom of some band part of your identity is not healthy, or some celebrity is not healthy. So I don't call myself a Jamiroquai fan anymore. I've been an avid Jamiroquai music enjoyer since 1996. So Jamiroquai has been my favorite band ever for nearly 30 years now. So if you're a Jamiroquai fan, you probably can figure out that I entered the fandom with the Traveling Without Moving album and Virtual Insanity. Virtual Insanity, which is an iconic music video. But I'm not going to identify myself as a fan of any celebrities or bands anymore, because we're just seeing nonstop that if you elevate celebrity like that and make it part of your identity, celebrating celebrities is the dark side of that is also connected to some of the dark parts of capitalism as well. And celebrities who are multimillionaires, no one needs to have that much money. So, one thing that J.K., who is the man that people who are not Jamiroquai fans often confuse for being Jamiroquai, but he's not. I guess he is Jamiroquai in the sense that he has full creative control of Jamiroquai, but technically speaking, Jamiroquai are a band. People who aren't into Jamiroquai don't realize that. Jamiroquai is not a solo artist act, it's a band. The man, the singer and the main creative control is J.K., Jason K. Anyway, J.K. and the band do things that I don't personally agree with. Like, for instance, touring while the COVID pandemic is going on. And that's another good reminder of why you shouldn't make liking a musician that big of a part of your identity. It's because if you had a more realistic view of the world, you'd realize that elevating these people as being better than the rest of us is a bad idea. But Jamiroquai music, oh, holy cow. Jamiroquai music, yeah, it's like eargasms for me. It's just... If I was to do a DJing thing that would be allowed on Twitch, I would probably be playing a lot of Jamiroquai music. But anyway, yeah, I mean, there are similarities between Jamiroquai and like Michael Jackson's catalog and some of the styles that Michael Jackson has used over the course of his career, for instance. And when Michael Jackson died in 2009, J.K. said that Off the Wall was creative inspiration for him. So, as in the Off the Wall album, yeah. But all the Jacksons, especially the talented ones, you know, Michael and Janet, Tito's a very talented guitar player and whatnot, are a point of fascination for me. So I have learned, oh, there's a waterfall in the distance. Look at that. You want to see the waterfall? Look at that. I don't think I can, yeah, I can't go any closer than that, but look at that waterfall. That looks cool, eh? Although, if you were to drive, let's say, 2 hours from where I am in Toronto, we'll say. Some people say they can do it in like 90 minutes on like the QEW. I'm not a driver, so on a good day, it would be a 90-minute drive. Is Niagara Falls, which is the world's largest waterfall by like water volume and other size metrics. So I live, and it's considered to be one of the natural wonders of the world as well, Niagara Falls. So I live very close. From an international perspective, I live very close to Niagara Falls, but I actually live in Toronto. But a lot of people who travel from far away internationally to Toronto will often make the trip to Niagara Falls, which should take them 90 minutes to 2 hours of driving. And the Canadian side of Niagara Falls is a lot more visually stunning than the American side. So most of the Niagara Falls tourism takes place in Canada. And now that the United States has made their country very hostile to foreign tourism through, arresting people and stuff, that's gonna benefit Niagara Falls, Canada, to the detriment of Niagara Falls, USA, that much more. Yeah, that's not really good for your country's tourism if they're afraid that they could be arrested, even if they're law-abiding for simply trying to visit your country. Not good for tourism. Yeah, it's not an exaggeration to compare the United States now to Nazi Germany. I hope talking about stuff like that isn't bad for my stream. But yeah, I've visited the United States a few times in my life. I am never going to visit the United States ever again. Although my apartment is immediately on Lake Ontario. Like, I'm not joking. Like, my apartment, if I was to leave my apartment, and I live in like a really tall apartment tower, if I was to leave my apartment, I could stick my finger into Lake Ontario in like 30 seconds. Like, that's how close to the lake I am. Like, I'm immediately on the lake. And then on the other side of the lake, and Lake Ontario is a very large lake, so by international standards. So it would take like probably a couple of hours of boating to get to the other side of Lake Ontario. But on the other side of Lake Ontario is the United States. So I keep looking out to Lake Ontario from my window, and I think, wow, there's like not that Canada is not a great country either. So anyone like romanticizing Canada, no, stop it. I'm not proud to be Canadian. Canada sucks. F Canada. But it's not as deeply progressed into fascism as the United States is. Although Mark Carney is making damn sure that Canada gets fascist as quickly as possible. Canadians thought by electing Mark Carney they were going to keep Paul Poilievre and fascism out, but the truth is all these capitalist politicians are fascist now. That's capitalism leads to fascism. People thinking that this central banker, Mark Carney, was going to save Canada from fascism, I never believed that crap. Yeah, exactly, Katie. The U.S. is done. You can be completely law-abiding. You can try to fly to the United States and have a return ticket to show that you're going back to your country, and you can have your passport and be completely law-abiding and all that stuff, and there is still danger that ICE will arrest you. So if you are not in the United States, stay away from the United States. not a safe country. And Canada not having travel warnings for the United States, it just shows how complicit in American fascism Canada and the Canadian government actually are. Yeah, I'm not. I feel very strongly that if Donald Trump invaded Canada like he's been blustering about, we got to take those threats seriously, by the way. I don't think that the Canadian military is going to protect us from that. I think the Canadian military would just let us be invaded, because the Canadian military, ever since long after the War of 1812 was over, has basically been designed to support the United States in whatever they're doing, and to be, kind of like a puppet gang for the American military. So I do not expect that the Canadian military would protect people in Canada from an American invasion. We are on our own, folks. We are on our own. And of course, ordinary people can't fight off an attack from, the most powerful military on earth. So if the United States does invade, yeah, it is a scary thought. So if the United States does invade Canada, I would just have to kind of make myself scarce and hidden. Try to not be found. Try to keep on top of how the invasions and attacks are going, so I stay out of it as much as I can. Because we're not going to be able to fight it off, and our military is not going to protect us. But yeah, I'm on the Canadian side of Lake Ontario, and I am not crossing over to the American side. No, sirree. There are probably literally thousands of lakes that the Canada-US border runs through, from, the far east of the continent to the far west of the continent. And there are a lot of fishermen that for many generations have fished in waters of lakes where the border runs through. And it's never been a problem when their boat, if they're American and their boat enters the Canadian side of the lake, it's not going to be a problem for them. But the Canadian fishermen and their boats just so happen to pass the imaginary line into what is considered to be American territory. And by the way, borders are all just imaginary lines. The lakes are real. The border running through the lakes is imaginary and really shouldn't exist. But anyway, they are past the imaginary line that we've drawn. And a Canadian fisherman, there have been stories about this. Don't Google it, because Google's not good anymore. DuckDuckGo search it with Duck AI turned off in your settings. Search for the Canadian fishermen who have been arrested by ICE because their fishing vessel crossed a few meters into apparently the American side of the lake. That's the world we live in now. The world has changed so much. I was born in White Rock, British Columbia, which is a Canadian province, in 1984. And so the hospital I was born in, Peace Arch Hospital in White Rock, BC, you need a lot more information than that to fraud me, by the way. I'm very careful. I've designed my internet presence so I can be honest about my birthplace without giving all the information that's needed for someone to get a copy of my birth certificate. And I've had to replace my birth certificate many times before. So I know what replacing my birth certificate entails. So knowing the town that I was born in, my birthday is not enough information for that. So I was born in White Rock, BC in January 84. And I was born in Peace Arch Hospital, which is literally a couple of minutes drive from the Canada-US border into Blaine, Washington. And apparently in the maternity ward when I was a newborn baby, the nurses were Americans who lived in Blaine, Washington. And very often back then, this was way pre 9/11, Americans from Blaine, Washington and Canadians from White Rock or Surrey, BC would drive across the Canada-US border all the time to like go to the gas station or go grocery shopping, mundane stuff like that. And before 9/11, they didn't need to have a passport and they could just like wave to the border guard and, oh, Joanne, going to get groceries again? Yeah. Welcome to America. See you soon. Right? And then 9/11 changed all that. And then since 9/11, it's just been getting worse and worse and worse. So the scenario that existed when I was born is not a scenario that would exist now. But when I was born and I was a baby, a tiny baby born in a hospital just barely on the Canadian side of the border, my nurses who took care of newborn me were Americans from Blaine, Washington. Now, I highly doubt that Peace Arch Hospital has a lot of staff that lives in Blaine, or it's complicated. I'm sure some of them might be from Blaine, Washington, and they just got to have their passports, but things are getting more and more hostile now. It's going to get problematic for them. But in the early 1980s when I was born, they didn't even need passports. They would just like wave. Okay, we're 2 hours into the stream. About 72% done here. Thank you for letting me share that Mountain Dew, Oz. Yeah, the information that you would need that I do not give out online in order to get my birth certificate is the name of the tiny village that my mother was born in. That is information that I do not give out online anywhere, and it would be impossible to find online even if you crawl the deep web for it. The name of the tiny village that my mom was born in, which is not in Canada. And I'm a cybersecurity professor, ex-cybersecurity professor. And I've also had the experience of replacing my own birth certificate a number of times. Because I'm ADHD and I lose stuff, but I don't forget the information that I need to know in order to have my birth certificate replaced. But one piece of vital information that you do need to have that I never share online is the name of the village that my mother was born. So I keep that to myself specifically to prevent identity fraud, to at least let me talk openly about my birthplace, which is important for me because I am into astrology, and birthplace is one of the handy things to know about someone when you're drawing an astrological chart for them. You need to know the name of the tiny village that my mother was born in. You also need to know what my mother's maiden name was. So I'm also careful about not revealing that online, my mother's maiden name. So by keeping that information to myself, I can openly on the internet say, I was born in White Rock, BC. And I was born on Friday, yes, it was a Friday the 13th. I think that's really cool. Friday, January 13th, 1984. And I was born at, this is important info for astrologers who are curious about drawing my chart, 2:57 a.m. is when I was born. And if you put that data into a natal chart software, you'll see I have a really cool looking natal chart. And if you're interested in that sort of thing, I do astrological chart readings on Wednesdays. Please tune in for that. Anyone who is watching who hasn't followed me yet, please, please follow. You get an Ossington the Bear emote, and I would really appreciate it. And I got a goal where I'm trying to get like, I got 68 followers now. I'm trying to get to 70, so please, 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 thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. No, it's too long. Might take a washing break soon. Yes, the idea has been suggested to me that I should time commercial breaks for my washroom breaks. It's just the thing is, I have not found a feature that will allow me to do that, to just like turn the commercials on, the ad break on when I happen to be using the washroom. So, sorry about that. But if I could figure out, if there was a way to do it and I could figure out how to do that, I'd be doing that. I'd be timing my washing breaks for when the mandatory ads come on. Okay. Ah, I fell off. Move that over there, maybe there. Make sure we get this whole area here clean. You know, I hope you folks don't mind. I'm going to take my washing break now. I'm sorry I can't time the ad read for that time, but thanks for your patience, everyone. We are back. Oh, I lost viewership. Oh, come back, people. Ah, serves me right for thinking I can go to the washroom. Ah, we will resume our game. Oh, people come back. Okay. There we go. Much better. Now I can relax more when I make sure that everything left here is clean. back to 3 viewers again. Okay. Whoa, what now? It's refreshed to 1. Oh. Well, hopefully people will return soon. Oh, share on Blue Sky again. Get people to join us. Okay, let's clean the rest of this here. Make sure all these stairs are cleaned properly. Make sure we get these bits too. There's some more people who join us, Oz. Clean this railing here. There we go. We got some new people again. Hey, welcome. We're going to clean this whole treehouse environment here. Please follow me. Following is free and gets you a free Ossington the Teddy Bear emote. We almost got this area here cleaned. This is a huge project to be cleaning. Did I miss any spots here? Let's try over here. Maybe we move the scaffolding. Get that. There we go. Satisfying din. 4 viewers. Hey. Please consider a follow. I'd appreciate it. Get these areas here. No, I think we've got those areas. There we go. It's this other side that's tricky. That's 73%. We're at 73% now. Look at that waterfall. Isn't that beautiful? Ding. Ding. I get everything? Silly, no. Oh, we got all this here. Ding. When PowerWash Simulator 2 comes out, I'm definitely going to be streaming it. As soon as it comes out to the general public. Next week we're going to start streaming Crime Scene Cleaner as well. Get all these areas here. We're going to hear some more dings soon, hopefully. There we go. Get this whole area taken care of. Make sure all of this is taken care of. All of that. All of that. Get these areas too. There we go. Ding, ding. 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 Get these areas here. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. There we go. There's a little corner that we didn't get. There we go. Make sure all the little nooks and crannies are all cleaned properly, so I'm not frustrated at the end with like, what did I miss? What did I miss? Later today, I am going to be playing Wago Tabi, which is a Japanese learning game. And there's some exploration. If you want to come learn Japanese with me, that will be this evening North America time, 6 p.m. Eastern. So, if I get bored of that, I'll switch back to Fields of Mystria. Okay. Okay, we got all those parts. Get these parts done. Actually, I should probably get the scaffolding come over here. We don't need such a long extension. Oh yeah, we forgot these spots here. Maybe change the nozzle. Oh, wow. That needs to be cleaned. I'm being meticulous so I don't have all these odd missed areas at the end. Maybe by watching you'll learn some tips for playing this game yourself. There we go. Let's clean these parts here. There we go. Let's do some more railing work here. Oh, we missed the spot here. Ah. Get these spots first. Get these spots. Move the scaffolding a little bit here. Get these parts over here. Oh. Yep, maybe I will replace this with a taller scaffolding. Yeah, I'll bring this one over. Look at that waterfall. Okay, there we go. Much better. There. Make sure we get all those spots. Yeah, get those areas too. this railing here. Do the do. Whole railing. Maybe we'll make sure that the outside of all the railing is clean first before I do this whole area here, this whole mess. Okay, we'll take care of the railing on this side as well. %78%. Move that ladder over there. Ladder's in the way. There we go. Yeah, we've got some spots here. That spot. Okay, we'll do here. There's a method to my madness. Get this whole railing done, I guess. So much railing. Yeah, you're going to have fun when you get to this level, Katie, when you're playing by yourself. I hope watching me has given you some tips. Oh, very nice. Okay. Five viewers. Yeah, well, you'll get 5,000 in-game money for the Pro Washer in no time at all, Katie. I got the Pro Washer now. If you are not following me, please follow me. You get a free Ossington the Teddy Bear emote I've got 68 followers now. Looking to get 70 is my next goal. Thank you very much, everyone. Get this railing here. I got Katie into PowerWash Simulator. It's addictive. It's very addictive, very calming and satisfying. Okay. We'll get all this railing. Oh, yeah, very good. And we are at 79%. Thanks for joining us, folks. We're going to get this whole environment nice and clean. Talking teddy bear, who's not talking very much lately. Okay. Well, he makes noises when I pick him up. Let's see here. It's nice having a teddy bear for a companion. They make good companions. Oh! Katie's saying that her power wash phase could turn out worse than her Gianna sister's phase. Yeah. It is a very addictive game. And next week we're going to try crime scene cleaner. Let's make sure I got all the outer railing areas. Having a good look. And I got outer railing. Outer railing, yeah, okay. No more stalling. Now it's time to do the big house at the top. Oh, well, thank you, Iuni. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm super duper beautiful, apparently. Thank you. Are you, I appreciate that. Even if you're not a guy in the Toronto area, I still appreciate that. Okay. Let's get this area here clean. This is what's left. We've got 80%. So we just got this area left. And it's this big house. This is the actual tree house of the top. Ding. Look at all that yucky mold. Oh, those Bigfoot footprints? Apparently Bigfoot's on the loose in this area. Maybe those footprints aren't big enough to be Bigfoot. He is known for having big feet. Oh, it drove you bonkers. Was it too tedious for you? I mean, not every game is for everyone. Did you find it tedious? Or was it the fact that cleaning all the tiny little areas at the end is very frustrating? What we would say in marketing, what was the pain point for you? Oh, yeah, the tiny bits, yeah. I don't, I don't enjoy that part of the game, which is why now I'm careful to try and clean in such a way that I don't miss too many of those areas. Probably a lot more relaxing to watch. Katie suggested a lawnmower simulator, but there is a lawnmower motor simulator on Steam, and I was like excited about the idea about playing it. Maybe I'll buy it anyway. But the customer reviews say that it's very buggy. But if it's not a very buggy game, that would be a really relaxing game to play on stream. I agree, Katie, too. You're getting too old for video games. Ah, I'm a millennial, and I think millennials and like younger Gen X are probably going to be the first generation to become elderly age and play video games, like on a large scale. So, I think for our generations, gaming is for life. Although there's all kinds of games that I would probably never play. One type of game that you will never see me play ever, I promise, is a lot of different types of sports titles. The exception I make to sports titles is like stuff like, I guess Mario Kart is kind of vaguely a sports title, and like the Mario sports games maybe. But you're never going to see me play like a real sports game like Madden or FIFA or something like that. I don't like those games. And in fact, market research says there is a demographic of gamer that just plays those silly sports games. I'm the type of gamer who will never touch those games. Not unless Mario is playing the sport. And I do like Hot Shots Golf, otherwise known as Everybody's Golf. I'll make an exception there. But the real, serious sports games, no, you'll never see me play any of those. Yeah. Basketball, yeah, football and basketball, yeah. Not my thing either. One game that people would not expect me to be streaming that I'm considering streaming at some point soon is Crisis, which is a PC first-person shooter that back around 2007 or so PC gamers used to use as a benchmark for your PC's graphics capabilities. Can it run Crisis at full settings? I would not be happy to mainly play first-person shooters, but playing a first-person shooter once every so often is actually okay, fun. As long as it's against CPU in a single-player campaign, not like against real people online. I don't like playing against real people, especially in a first-person shooter. I did enjoy Borderlands. uh, some of the Borderlands games, they have like online co-op. Online co-op is fine as long as my opponents aren't controlled by real people. Yeah, but mainly it's gonna be relaxing indies and like Japanese games and like Chinese games. Yeah. The Western games are mainly either very nerdy, like Dwarf Fortress, or very relaxing, like this one, PowerWash Simulator. I've been one game I've been playing on stream a lot that I've really been enjoying is Field of Mystria. So I am determined for that entire Field of Mystria campaign to be streamed. So that means no playing the game when I'm not streaming, which takes some discipline because I've really been enjoying that game so much. But I am going to be playing more games like this if you really like PowerWash Simulator. So there's going to be Crime Scene Cleaner next week. And when PowerWash Simulator 2 comes out, I will start playing that as well. PowerWash Simulator 2 should be out pretty soon. No set date yet, other than 2025, but when it's out, I'll be on. I probably will not be playing Hollow Knight or Hollow Knight Silk Song because I heard that the bosses are really tough, and I don't want to have like a tough, frustrating experience. I like to, if I encounter a boss in the type of game that has them, I'd rather it feel doable and not frustrating. I'd rather be able to beat the boss on my second or third attempt and not need like 20 attempts or 40 attempts. That's too frustrating for me. Ding. 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 Okay, making a lot of progress here. 90% now. 90%. Ding. So the main, not counting the DLC, the main campaigns in PowerWash Simulator that I like the most are probably this one and the subway station. They're nice. Oh, I really enjoyed the pyramid at the end too. Katie, I'm not gonna give you any spoilers about the pyramid at the end, but know when you get to the pyramid, that's the last level in the single player campaign. Ooh, ding, 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 we're making a lot of progress here. Clean, clean, clean. Ding, ding, ding. Get that post clean. Ding, ding. Ding, ding. Making a lot of progress here. Make sure all the little nooks and crannies on those windows are taken care of. Yeah. Oh, ding. making 91% now. Making a lot of good progress here. There we go. We got that whole wood paneling area. Get back here. Get those ceiling parts. Ding. Get that part there. Get that part there. Trying to be very thorough, so there aren't a lot of missed sections. Oh, there we go. Ding, ding. There we go. Get that section done. Get these sections too. Oh, we got this whole area here. There's a lot to clean in this level. Ding. Oh, I wonder what those yellow things are. Washing off here. The bird vomit or something? Hear the birds a little bit. How did this treehouse get so dirty? Only 2%. That section there. There we go. I'm making sure all these tiny little Nooks and crannies are taken care of. Ah, we missed you. Glad that you're back. Ugh. As I said, did a bird vomit? Oh, I am drinking Mountain Dew. Yeah. That's what I'm drinking. Ding. Ding. Ooh. Isn't that satisfying to hear all those dings? There we go. A little spot missing here. Oh, we missed that whole area there. There we go. I'm getting much better at playing this game, being very, very... Yes, the true gaming beverage, exactly. That's what the marketing says. Okay. Oh, we got... Oh, wait. I just want to make sure we got all these little... Being very thorough. Make sure we got that. We're not missing any small sections before we get up on the roof. You only drink water and milk. To each their own. To each their own. I drink a lot of carbonated sugar water, which in this part of the world is called pop. In most of the United States, they call it soda. Oh, ooh, there's a section under there. I'm going to be perfectionist and make sure that that's taken care of before I do the roof. That house there. Oh, where? There we go. There we go. We got that. Good. Back to the upper deck. See what perfectionist I'm being? Michigan. Oh, in Michigan they call it pop. Maybe because a lot of Michigan is close to Canada. Apparently in Atlanta, Georgia, partly because that's like Coca-Cola headquarters, they sometimes, well, not sometimes, they mainly call all pop or soda Coke. What kind of Coke would you like? I'd like an Orange Crush Coke, please. That's how they talk in Atlanta, Georgia, which would really throw us off. I've seen linguistic maps that were like pop soda linguistic maps. Like which parts of North America do they call it soda? Most of the United States. Most of Canada is pop. But Michigan is mainly pop. Good to know. So Eminem would call it pop then? Insane Clown Posse, they love drinking Faygo. They call Faygo pop. In Arizona, you call it soda. Yeah, that's most of the U.S. according to the maps that I've seen for soda versus pop. I think in the UK they call them fizzy drinks. I've watched a bunch of British YouTubers and they tend to refer to them as fizzy drinks. But Atlanta, Georgia, they won't let you forget that they're Coca-Cola headquarters because they call all pop/soda Coke. 94%, folks. I respect Insane Clown Posse. I respect them. If I was feeling like listening to music, would I listen to their music? No. But I do respect the ICP. Even though it's not really my kind of... Horror rap isn't really my favorite genre to listen to, but I respect them. I respect the amount of commercial success they've been able to have without big corporations being involved, like doing their own thing, controlling their IP and their whole business structure. That is a major feat, especially since when they were just starting out, like so many years ago, they were just like poor kids in Detroit. The fact that they're able to build such a strong community of juggalos and such a big empire without even major record labels is really impressive. Not that being with a major record label would be much of a benefit these days, if ever, because they mainly exploit you. So that's a kind of exploitation that they've been able to avoid by being in charge of their home business structure, yeah. Yeah, so ICP, respect them. I would not enjoy just listening to their music when I feel like listening to music, though. The music I like listening to is usually like jazz funk, jazz fusion, all kinds of different R&B genres. Those are my favorite styles of music. As I was saying earlier in the stream, my favorite band of all time is Jamiroquai. I've been an avid Jamiroquai enjoyer since 1996. And I'm a Jackson family historian, like as a hobby. But I also really love Michael's music and Janet's music, especially. And, you know, there's some stuff in Reby Jackson's catalog that's okay. And Jermaine has some okay solo hits. The ones written by Stevie Wonder tend to be the best. And the Jackson 5 / the Jacksons also had a pretty strong catalog, I believe. LaToya's solo career, not so much. There's a reason why LaToya's solo career didn't take off. Oh, Vaporwave. I have an ex from about 10 years ago who runs a little tape label called Poor Little Music. Do an internet search for Poor Little Music at some point. A lot of the music that he releases are Vaporwave and he uses a lot of like Vaporwave style art in a lot of the artwork of the cassettes that his label sells. So, if you like Vaporwave, check out the tape label Poor Little Music. You'll find their Bandcamp page pretty easily, hopefully. You love jazz, that's good. I mainly like jazz fusion and jazz funk, as far as jazz is concerned. I really like proggy stuff too, there's a lot of prog rock that I really like. Making 98%, we are so close to done now. We are so close to done. Get these last roof parts. Ding. Oh, okay, you got it from Xbox Game Pass? Oh, you got PowerWash Simulator from Xbox Game Pass. Well, I guess it's no big loss if you couldn't play it personally then, because it's not like you had to buy it directly. Okay. Let's get the last 99%. We're at 99% now. So I want you folks to tell me when I am done this level, do you want me to go on to a different power wash level, or do you want me to play a little bit of Fields of Mystria? It's up to you. Let me know in the comments. Play a little bit more Power Wash Simulator after this, or play about an hour of Fields of Mystria. Fields of Mystria, which is a game that is like Stardew Valley, but different. Katie's down for both. Oh, yeah, okay. Do we have the entire roof clean now? No, we've got this part to do. Get these parts of the trim done. Okay, what do we have left here? Door? Where is there a door? Oh, the door is probably over here. These are the last little bits that I missed. Door. Facetias. Probably down here somewhere. I'll get that too. The facetias. Oh, there we go. It's part of the house. Okay, that's done. Roof trims. It's probably, yeah, the house as well. We should get. This is it. Okay. On the other side. There we go. That is missing all that. Okay. Just got 3 more types of items to do. Upper deck joists. Upper deck railing. Upper deck top side. Where's the upper deck joists? Pillar. Ah. Oh. There we go. Oh, I get it. Okay. vertical house trims. Yeah, it probably is a waste of water. It probably is a waste of water. Probably not environmentally friendly these days. And golf isn't very environmentally friendly either. Maybe golf and power washing are things that we should keep in video games and not do in real life so much. We'll take care of the window frames. Come on. That's a vertical house trim. Missed that spot. There we go. Here's the other windows I missed. 2 more window frames left. This one. One more window frame. Where is it? Yeah, this is it. This is the last section to do. Oh, there we go. We did it, everyone. You could play a water challenge, yeah.